to Open Window Politics. Today we're going to be doing a U.S. Senate election prediction. We'll be going through each of these key states that have yet to be called. I will start out with, we've already got all the safe states characterized, and with the safe states called, it is currently 43 seats for the Democrats to 44 for the Republicans. For Republicans to hold the majority in the U.S. Senate, they would need to win at least 6 of the 13 races that have yet to be called. For Democrats to be able to hold the Senate, they would need to win, it's going to be 8 of the next seats that have yet to be called. So it is going to be a uphill battle for Democrats, but we'll see what will be possible as we go through each of these states. So I will start with a likely rating for the state of Montana. The state will normally be in safe. Sometimes in really good election years for Democrats, it's been in the likely column. But I think that just because the incumbent senator is retired and no party has incumbent advantage, that would assist Democrats slightly and would result in a Democratic narrowing up, not a victory, but going from safe red to likely red. So nothing too much there. One more seat for the Republicans. And then another state that I think is going to be in a similar rating is going to be the state of Florida. Going to put that into the Republican Party's category as well. And then that brings Republicans to 46 seats. They need to get 4 more. And now we will be going to the likely blue states. There's just going to be the one of those, that being the state of Minnesota. 1 more seat for the Democrats, 44 to 46. And then we'll get to the lean red states next. So as far as the lean red states go, I think I'm going to start with Nebraska. Nebraska is generally a safe red state, and the only reason it's in the lean red instead of safe is because there is a independent Senate candidate named Dan Osborne who actually ran in 2024 for the other U.S. Senate seat in the state of Nebraska. He, of course, fell short during that election, but he significantly outperformed Harris in the state in 2024 during that election. And so I think that he has a real shot, especially in an environment that is looking quite a bit better for Democrats. Even though he's not a Democrat, he gets a good chunk of his support from Democrats because there's no Democrat in the race, kind of backing the independent. And so that's going to be the state of Nebraska. And then Iowa, I'm going to also put that one into the lean red Republican margin as well. Iowa is generally in the likely red, but I think just with the national environment favoring Democrats, and we've seen consistent good election results for Democrats since 2024, that the state of Iowa will end up in the Republican Party category, but by a lean margin. So that is going to be the state there. That brings Republicans to 48 seats, to Democrats 44. Now we're going to get to there's one state that I'm hesitant to call, that being Texas. I think Texas really could end up in the tilt if we continue to see this positive momentum for Democrats. So for now, I'm going to put it into the tilt. I think it could end up in the lean, undecided on which way that state would go. But regardless, I do think it would be a Republican victory. And so that brings Republicans to 49 Senate seats. Then we're going to get to the lean blue state. Forgot one of those. That being the state of New Hampshire. 1 more seat for the Democrats. They'll need every seat they can get. For Republicans to win the majority, they would just need to win 1 more of the states that have yet to be called. So I will go back and forth. We'll go through some lean blue states. I'm going to start with the states I feel the most confident in calling. That means Georgia and North Carolina, both for the Democrats. Honestly, I think there's real possibility Georgia could be in the lean margin. These states are inherently swing states, so they will be competitive, but I think that with Jon Ossoff at the top of at the ticket for the Senate race in Georgia, that he would possibly be able to win by more than a 1-point majority. So I think that would be close, but I think it would still be a Democratic victory. And then as far as North Carolina goes, Roy Cooper, former popular Democratic governor from the state, is running for the Senate seat. He was an amazing pick for Democrats, and I think that he will be able to turn a state that is generally red on the presidential level into a blue victory for the Democrats on the Senate level. He's been able to win as a Democrat, like I said earlier, as a governor. So I think that the Senate race is certainly a possibility. So that is going to be the state of North Carolina. And then we're going to get to a couple other states. The next 2 I feel the most confident in calling would probably be Michigan and Maine, both for the Democrats. I think that Michigan is probably going to be I think Republicans stand a chance there. Right now, it's been a competitive primary, but I think that when the candidates are all selected for the respective parties' primaries, that it would result in a Democratic victory, just the national environment really favoring Democrats, and I think that that would be hard for Republicans to overcome in a state that is generally a swing state. Michigan voted for Trump in 2020 or in 2016, then Biden in 2020, and then Trump again in 2024. And I think if the Senate election were to be called, I think it would also end up in the Democratic Party's category. So that is going to be not a pickup. Democrats already hold 2 seats in the Michigan Senate. But there is going to be the first pickup is for Democrats is going to come with the state of North Carolina. And then I think there are going to be there's going to be possibly more good news for the Democrats. The next state I'm going to call is the state of Alaska. This state, a couple predictions ago, had it in the lean Republican victory, but we've seen some polling come out showing Mary Peltola doing well enough that she is able to overcome Dan Sullivan, who is the Republican senator. He's he's not the most liked senator. He's got a low approval rating, and I think that Mary Peltola, she's got certainly some appeal that does well in the state of Alaska. She's won this race, not the Senate race, but the House race, but because Alaska has a small population, those are the same. It's just the whole state. So she's been able to win the state on the statewide level. So I think she really has a good shot at winning the Senate race here. And then the state that I am the least confident in calling, that I really think is a true toss-up, but I do think it's important to call states one way or the other, that being the state of Ohio. For now, I'm going to put it into the tilt blue margin. Sherrod Brown, also speaking with more polling, he's been shown to be doing well in the Senate race polling here. Like I said, this state is probably the one I'm the least confident calling. I think Democrats really stand a better chance in Alaska than they do in Ohio. This Ohio is going to be close, but for now, if I had to call it, I would put it in the Democratic Party's column. So that is going to bring Democrats to 51 seats to Republicans 49. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.